Hello Peachies! Welcome back to Dear Peachy. Have you ever had these common makeup foundation problems? Your foundation look cakey, patchy, flaky and uneven, with pores and fine lines cracking through. You look like you have put on heavy makeup or too many layers of product. Your foundation shade does not match with your next skin tone at all. Today, we are going to deliver the most practical beginner's guide to foundation application for our peachies. Cakey makeup isn't the result of using too many products, but from using too much of product. We'll explain a little more in depth about that. For this video, we have carefully curated a list of the most popular Xiao Hong Shu foundation application tips to take your base makeup game to a whole new level. From skincare prepping, common foundation application mistakes, the right concealer technique for different blemishes types, up to setting your base. We've got that all covered. With the right techniques and product, not only can your skin look good and silky smooth in front of the camera or even without filters, but it also can withstand long hours without wear off. Keep watching so you never have to deal with cakey makeup again. As usual, our video is divided into several sections. Please refer to the following parts according to their timestamps. It's such a bummer when you spend ages perfecting your base makeup, only to watch it falling out as the day drags on. We all want our makeup to stay put and look fabulous all day long, right? But here's the thing, even if you're using top-notch makeup products, the real secret to achieving a flawless, long-lasting look is in the prep work you do on your skin before you start applying your makeup. One thing to keep in mind before putting on your makeup is to keep your skincare routine as minimal as possible. Applying too much heavy skincare can make your skin greasy, which could then cause your foundation to not stick properly to your skin. So, less is definitely more when it comes to skincare before makeup. Before you go ahead and apply your foundation, the very first thing you should do is figure out your skin type. If you're not quite sure what your skin type is, don't worry. A quick Google search can help you find out. This is important because our individual skin type can have a huge impact on the types of products and makeup techniques that work best for you. No matter what your skin type is, all you need is 2 skincare products before applying makeup. If you have oily skin, just use a refreshing toner followed by a lightweight moisturizer. For combination skin, use a toner and a slightly more hydrating moisturizer. For dry skin, you can use a toner with a rich moisturizer or lotion. And if your skin is extremely dry, you can apply 2 to 3 layers of toner to hydrate your skin. If you always experience extensive flakiness, caking, and peeling when applying foundation, you can use a heavier moisturizer on the affected areas before applying makeup. Typically, these areas are around the forehead, nose, mouth, and laugh lines. Massage the moisturizer in circular motions for a few minutes and then wipe off the excess dead skin cells and oils using a damp cotton pad that is soaked with your toner. This technique works like a charm for people with dry combination skin type. Once you've applied your skincare, give it about 5 to 10 minutes to be fully absorbed into your skin. When you touch your face with your fingers, you should feel that your skin is plump and well hydrated, with a slightly tacky feel like it's had a good drink of water. This is the perfect condition for applying makeup, and your foundation will stay put on your skin. While it can be tempting to apply a sheet mask right before applying your makeup, it is not recommended. If you have an upcoming big event or special occasion that requires a flawless makeup look, a better option would be to perform a deep cleansing followed by a skincare mask and lotion the night before. This will ensure that your makeup stays put on your skin throughout the day. If you're struggling with fine lines under your eyes that crack through your foundation, it's recommended to use a light, non-pilling eye cream and apply only a small amount. Second, sunscreen product selection and application. Sunscreen should be the last step of a skincare routine and the first step of makeup. Issues such as pilling and white casts that appear after applying sunscreen are usually caused by incorrect application techniques or using unsuitable products. Before applying sunscreen, you have to make sure the skincare products are completely absorbed and touch dry. Select sunscreen which is suitable for your skin type. To ensure the effectiveness of your sunscreen, it's recommended to apply 2 lines of sunscreen directly onto your index and middle fingers. Using too little sunscreen can reduce its effectiveness, but applying the entire amount on the face at once can cause white patches and pilling. The correct way should be applying half of the amount evenly over the face. Gently pat it onto your face in one direction, avoiding vigorous rubbing or circular motions, especially if the sunscreen has a thicker or heavier texture. use your fingertips to lightly pat the sunscreen all over your face. Then, for the remaining half of the amount, apply a second layer over the nose, cheeks, and other oily areas of your skin. Don't forget to apply sunscreen to the corners of your mouth, hairline, and jawline, and don't be afraid to apply a little extra to your neck. Remember to wait for 3 to 10 minutes to allow time for the sunscreen to sink into the skin properly. Next, primer. Is a makeup primer really necessary? Well, it's not, but it will enhance the longevity of your makeup or improve skin texture. There are several types of primers available, including color-correcting primers, hydrating primers, oil control primers, and silicone-based primers. Color-correcting primers come in two types, tinted primers and prime color correctors. Prime color correctors commonly used are purple and green. The purple hue helps to even out dull yellow skin tones, while the green hue neutralizes red patches. Tinted primer help to brighten up your overall skin tone. If your skin is already well hydrated and moisturized during your pre-makeup skincare routine, you can skip using a hydrating primer altogether. For those with oily skin, the oil control primer is your best friend. This type of primer will give your skin a natural matte finish. It's recommended to only apply the primer to the areas that tend to get greasy easily, such as the nose, forehead, and chin. Silicones in primers can help to blur out imperfections on your face, fill in fine lines and wrinkles, and reduce the appearance of pores. This creates a clean base for your makeup, allowing it to be applied more evenly and look better overall. Remember that you don't need to apply this type of primer all over your face. If you want your skin to look smooth overall, you can apply a thin layer to your T-zone and areas with larger pores. Smooth it along the direction of your pores in areas where your pores are more visible. Using too much is unnecessary, as it will cause pilling of your base. If you have different skin concerns in different areas of your face, for example, your T-zone is oily and your cheeks are dry, you can use different primers with different functions for each area. For areas with large pores, such as the T-zone and nose wings, you can use a silicone-based primer. For dry areas, you should use hydrating primers to prevent flaking and fine lines. To prevent the foundation from budging on your skin, avoid applying too much product and rubbing or patting it in vigorously. Remember to apply the primer in one direction only. All these can make your foundation look dead white, heavy and oily looking. If your skin doesn't have any of the concerns mentioned earlier, feel free to skip the primer. Have you ever pondered the best order of applying foundation and concealer? Rest assured that you're not alone. This has been a topic of discussion among many makeup enthusiasts and even on the Chinese app Xiao Hong Shu. Well, there's no right or wrong answer to that, only the best technique that works for your skin. However, most of the tutorials we came across on Xiao Hong Shu recommend applying concealer before foundation. This technique is useful to cover up large, patchy blemishes such as dark circles, discolorations, or rashes. By applying concealer before foundation, you can even out the uneven skin tone of blemishes. Color-correcting concealers are often used to neutralize the pigmentation of these blemishes, which means less foundation is needed afterward. This creates a more natural-looking finish in the end. On the flip side, while prime color corrector concealers are pretty popular in the Western beauty world, but they are less recommended by the Chinese beauty gurus. This is because these concealers are highly saturated and pigmented, which can make it challenging for makeup beginners to use them. Hence, the liquid or cream concealer with shades close to your skin tone is the best option if you're a newbie or you have less blemishes to conceal. In conclusion, to know if concealer should come before or after foundation, the color of concealer and the type of blemishes should be taken into consideration. Concealer with shade close to skin tone should be used after foundation. Blemishes appear in larger areas with discoloration, should be color corrected before foundation. The application technique plays a crucial role in concealing blemishes, as using the wrong technique can result in ineffective coverage and the product easily falling off. First, if you're using a concealer palette, pick a shade slightly darker than your actual skin tone. Warm it up by rubbing it in circular motions using your fingertips. This will help to create a creamy texture. Next, swipe the concealer onto the back of your hand. Then, use a concealer buffer brush to apply the concealer onto your skin. Before applying it directly onto your skin, brush it onto the back of your hand to ensure that the brush has an even amount of concealer on it. Tap the brush onto the acne marks vertically, then blend out the edges of the concealers. Remember, never blend out the center of your concealed areas. If you do, your brush will just smudge off the concealer that you've applied to your blemishes, and you won't get full coverage. So be careful. Not only that, if you dip your brush directly into the concealer palette, you'll pick up too much product, and it will look heavy and cakey on your face, which can lead to caking. This way of applying concealer will give a more natural looking finish without any visible brush strokes on the face. For dark eye circles, warm up the peach shade on the palette and dab a thin layer of concealer underneath your under eye with fingertips or flat concealer brush. Dab out the concealer in one direction, both below and above the concealed region, then pat it out lightly with a wet cushion sponge to blend into your skin better. See the difference? The dark pigmentation has been neutralized, and now all you can continue with the following steps of your makeup routine. Do you still notice your dark circles and tear grooves even after applying foundation? Don't worry. You can further conceal them with a simple spot concealing technique. After applying your foundation, use a concealer shade slightly lighter than your foundation shade to highlight the tear groove area beneath your eyes. Take a flat concealer brush and apply a tiny amount of product directly to the groove. Let it set for about 10 to 20 seconds before using a tissue to clean off any excess product on the brush. Then, gently dab and blend the concealer into the base for an even finish. If your tear grooves are not very noticeable, you can certainly skip this step. For those who conceal before applying foundation, it is best to set the concealed areas with a coat of setting spray. This extra step can help the concealer to stay put on the blemished areas when foundation is applied later. On the other hand, small blemishes such as pimples, bumps, or acne scars can be dealt with after applying foundation. After applying your foundation, get a high-coverage liquid concealer that is close to your foundation shade. Gently dab the concealer onto the bump of your acne with slight pressure to ensure that the entire area is fully covered. Allow it to sit for 30 seconds to dry, then get an angled concealer brush to blend out the edges without touching the center of the concealed area. At this point, your acne is mostly covered, but you may still notice some bumpy texture from a distance. To address this, apply finishing powder with a puff sponge. Again, do not pull or rub the puff sponge, just tap on your skin and lift it. The matte finish of the powder can help to reduce the appearance of the bumpy texture, making it less noticeable. However, it is impossible for a bumpy pimple to be completely concealed, so we should only aim for a natural and clean makeup look overall. Whether you're a beginner or a makeup enthusiast, foundation is an essential step in creating a flawless and long-lasting base for your makeup. It not only evens out your skin tone, but also provides a smooth canvas for the rest of your makeup. There are a couple of common mistakes that many people make when it comes to applying foundation. The first one is pumping the foundation directly onto their faces, or applying a big dollop in one go onto a certain area of the face and then blending it out with a beauty blender. This method makes it hard to control the amount of foundation used, and it's easy to go overboard with it and ruin your makeup. Moreover, half of the foundation gets soaked up by the beauty blender, so it's best to avoid applying too much at once or putting the entire amount on a particular skin area. The other mistake is pumping the foundation onto the beauty blender before applying it to your face, which can also lead to an uneven and heavy application. Instead, start by dispensing the foundation onto the back of your hand and spreading it out to check the amount. Before we dive into the application process, it's important to note that many beauty gurus on Xiao Hong Shu emphasize the importance of applying foundation in sections. It's best to avoid applying the foundation all over your face at once, and instead focus on smaller areas to ensure an even and natural-looking finish. Foundations with drier and quicker setting formulas tend to set on your skin faster than other formulas. If you apply the foundation all over your face first, it may dry out before you get a chance to blend it out, resulting in a patchy and uneven finish. The correct method to apply is to use your fingers to dab the product onto your face in sections. For your cheeks, use your fingertip to gently dab the foundation from the outer corner of your eyes towards the mouth corner. Start with a thin layer of foundation in the center of your face and blend it outwards. Each dab should be light to create an even and thin layer of foundation across your entire face. This technique is recommended because the skin tone is generally lighter near the mid-face and gets darker towards the sides. Next, take a damp cushion sponge or beauty blender. Remember to dampen your makeup sponge as it aids in smoother product application, resulting in an even, streak-free finish. This technique is particularly beneficial for those with dry skin, as brushes can leave flakes on the surface, but the added moisture from a damp sponge can be helpful. However, be cautious not to use too much water as it may dilute the product and affect its texture. Remember to wring out the sponge well after it has fully expanded to ensure proper application. Then, pat the makeup sponge in a vertical patting motion onto your skin. You can apply slight pressure while patting, so you're beating the foundation evenly onto your skin. Avoid swiping or pulling the sponge across your face, as this can negatively impact the finish. By patting the foundation onto your skin, you'll allow the foundation to blend seamlessly into your skin. If you have already applied concealer to certain areas of your cheeks, you'll need to be extra gentle when applying foundation to these areas. Just apply a light layer of foundation on the areas where you have concealed, and avoid dragging or pulling the sponge back and forth. Your goal is to even out your skin tone, since you have already applied the color-correcting concealer earlier. To even out the skin tone around the eye area, simply use the leftover foundation on the back of your hand and apply a thin layer. Be gentle while doing so, as the skin around the eyes is delicate and it creases easily if too much product is applied. The forehead, nose tip, and nose wings are areas that typically have larger pores. It's best to apply your foundation against the direction of your pores to create a smoother, more even look. To apply to the forehead and nose bridge, start by swiping a thin layer of foundation in a downward motion. For the nose wings, gently dab the foundation in a circular motion to blend it evenly into the skin. This technique will help to create a flawless finish and minimize the appearance of pores. Again, pat it out with a damp makeup sponge in vertical patting motion. Remember not to wipe or swipe while applying. And voila! You've achieved a clean, smooth, natural-looking base with minimized pores. To get the perfect amount of product from your cushion foundation, position your fingers at the center of the puff. This will ensure that the puff picks up just the right amount of foundation from the cushion. Avoid placing your fingers too far forward, as this can result in wastage and cause your base to appear cakey with too much product applied. Then, remove any excess product by tapping the puff on the lid. This step is important because taking too much product on the puff can make your base look heavier and cakey. Next, dab the foundation onto the center region of the outer eye corner and your mouth corner, and blend it out over your cheeks using a vertical patting motion. This technique is a game changer for anyone who struggles with creasing and cracking around the cheeks, under eyes, and nose region. The key is to avoid applying too much product directly to these areas, which can make your pores look more noticeable and cause your base to crack. For extra coverage on blemishes, dip the puff back into the cushion and gently pat the foundation onto these areas. Finally, blend everything seamlessly by quickly patting the entire area. This will help you achieve a porcelain-like finish that looks flawless and natural. If you're worried about larger pores, a good technique is to dab your finger on the cushion to pick up some foundation. Then, swipe it evenly onto the areas of your skin with larger pores and gently pat it out to blend it in seamlessly. This method will help minimize the appearance of pores and create a smoother, more even finish. When it comes to picking the right foundation finish, it really depends on personal preference. Some people prefer a matte finish while others prefer a dewy look. However, if you have more skin blemishes, larger pores, or oily/combination skin, a dewy finish may not be the best option for you. The glow from a dewy finish can actually make your blemishes more noticeable. In this case, a foundation with a matte finish would be more suitable. Finally, we are moving to the last step of the base makeup routine. Now, it's time to set your makeup to make it last longer throughout the day. Setting your makeup also helps to prevent oiliness and shine. In this section, we'll show you some easy steps to set your base makeup and give you some tips to ensure your makeup stays put. To set your base makeup, there's another option aside from setting spray, which is setting powder. Setting powder helps control oil and gives a natural finish without compromising your foundation. You can choose between tinted or translucent powder. Translucent powder has no concealing effect, while tinted powders have a slight tint that can also provide color correction. Different setting tools provide different effects. Using a powder puff to set your makeup can result in a porcelain-like, soft matte finish, which is perfect for those with oily or combination skin. However, be careful not to apply the powder directly onto your skin. To apply loose powder, start by tapping the powder puff to pick up the powder. Then, fold the puff in half and gently press and rub it to distribute the powder evenly. Before applying to your face, tap the puff on your hand to remove any excess powder. Then, lightly press and pat the puff onto your face. You will immediately notice a soft focus effect on your skin. Continue patting to set your makeup. For areas with finer details such as under the eyes and around the nose, fold the powder puff and use the pointed tip to set the makeup. If you notice any creasing on the eyelids, use your fingertips to smooth it out before setting it with powder. Finally, press a little more firmly on the T-zone to set it in place. After setting your makeup, you will achieve a soft and natural-looking finish. Your skin will feel smooth and seamless, without any damage to your base makeup. On the other hand, the bristles of a brush are more loosely packed, so the finish achieved with a brush is more sheer and translucent, making it suitable for dry skin. To apply loose powder with a brush, first press the brush into the powder and swirl it around the container. Do not apply the powder directly to your face. Rub the brush in your palm a couple of times to evenly distribute the powder onto each bristle. Avoid using circular or sweeping motions, as your foundation is still wet, and this movement can remove the coverage of blemishes that were previously concealed. Furthermore, the damp liquid foundation mixing with the dry setting powder can cause a patchy appearance. To set your makeup, use a gentle tapping motion all over your face. For more precise areas like around the eyes or nose, flatten the brush head or switch to a smaller brush to set your makeup. The resulting makeup will have a matte finish with a subtle glow, giving a fresh and translucent effect. Makeup setting spray is another good option if you prefer a lightweight, natural finish, and it is also suitable for all skin types. It is sprayed onto your skin to form a film above your makeup, which helps to hold makeup in place and prevent it from smudging or transferring throughout the day. To achieve the best results, hold the makeup setting spray bottle approximately 6 to 8 inches away from your face. This distance allows the spray to reach all areas of your makeup that require setting, providing an even and comprehensive coverage. However, spraying too close to your face can cause the mist to form droplets on your base, and this can make your base look patchy. Begin by spraying in an X and T formation to ensure that all parts of your face are covered. Any mist areas can then be spot sprayed as required, although this step may not be necessary in most cases. Make sure you let your setting spray dry naturally. This allows the spray to fully sink in, so your makeup won't smear later on. It has become necessary to wear a face mask, which is now somewhat of the new normal. As a consequence, your beauty routine may be impacted, especially in terms of makeup application. The current dilemma is finding ways to prevent your makeup from transferring onto your face mask. To combat this, the sandwich setting technique was highly raved by all of the beauty gurus on Xiao Hong Shu. The sandwich technique, introduced by the famous makeup artist Wayne Goss, has been a hot topic among beauty enthusiasts, including Chinese beauty gurus who have adapted this technique to suit their skin. To use this technique, start by applying your skincare and primer, and then set your skin with setting spray. After the setting spray has set into your skin, apply your concealer followed by foundation. Again, we are going to spray the beauty blender with setting spray before applying the foundation to our face. Next, mix a few pumps of setting spray into it using your finger. This will make your foundation last longer and stay put on your skin for longer hours. Continue applying it using the blending method mentioned earlier. Once you're done with your base, set it again with setting spray. Make sure to wait for it to completely dry and sink into your skin. Then, apply a layer of loose powder on top. After that, proceed with the rest of your makeup routine. Finally, lock everything in place with a final coat of setting spray. This sandwich of products can help lock in your makeup, absorb any excess oil, and give you a smooth, airbrush finish. So if you want your makeup to stay put all day and look flawless, give the sandwich method a try. We hope that you found these tips helpful in achieving a flawless and long-lasting base makeup look, especially when wearing a face mask. Remember, a good base makeup is the key to achieving a flawless finish for any makeup look. With a well-prepared canvas, you'll be able to create any makeup look you desire, and it will last throughout the day. So, take your time to prep your skin, and applying each product in the correct order. We hope that this video is useful for you, and you're now feeling more confident in achieving the perfect base makeup look. Let us know in the comments which tip is the most helpful to you. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next video.